Well, hello there, and welcome back to another Starbelt video portal production. My name is Clinton Waller, and I'm really excited to share this video with you today. I'm going to teach you how I make my audio visualizers using Motion5. And it's actually quite simple. Today we're going to make a bass bounced speaker effect, and I think you're really going to enjoy this. So make sure you like the video, hit the subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I don't really have a niche. I'm told I suffer from that. But subscribe if you want to see new random content, something new under the sun. And if you're looking for continuity, check out my playlists. All right, let's get started. All right, the first thing you're going to want to do is get yourself a speaker. I've got a nice collection here. Let's throw this up as a gallery so we can take a look. Make that a bit bigger. So I've got a nice collection of speakers here. I downloaded these from Pexels. You're welcome to do the same. So let's find a speaker that we want to use today. I'm looking for a really nice speaker that's full size. Oh, there's one that I already did. So let's show you how to do this from scratch. I'm going to start with this speaker picture. We're going to cut this speaker out and make an audio visualizer out of it. So you can use any program you want. I'm going to use Final Cut to make this cutout of the speaker. So let's make a new project here and let's call it Speaker Cutout. We're going to make it 4K, like make it high res. And then let's go to where I had those speakers. Oh, let's turn this back to list view. So which one was that? Of course, now I can't see. Was it this one? It was this one. So thank you, Neil Yanamine. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but shout out to you. This is your photograph. So we'll drag that into the timeline. And let's just get rid of that. Let's make it a bit bigger. Oh, and of course, the little bug with Final Cut. Go to the project, go back in. 4 seconds. Doesn't matter. We're only going to take a thumbnail out of this. So what you want to do is you want to go to your effects and you want to search for a mask. And we're going to use the draw mask. So click on that, drag it onto here. And something about draw masks. So right now I have this pen. If you are in like image sort of moving it around mode, you won't get your draw pen, and this confused me for quite some time. Just turn that back off and then you get your pen back. So there might be an easier way to do it, but I do it with love. So we'll just take a lot of points around the edge of the speaker, each one with love, and just kind of cut the speaker out. It's a little bit tedious, but make sure you give yourself lots of control points so that you get a more round effect and not kind of a blocky effect. Patiently cut your speaker out. Don't get giddy towards the end. Keep up lots of control points. Okay, and when you click the last one, you'll cut your speaker out. And then you can kind of clean this up a bit. Try and give it a more rounded appearance. You can feather it if you want. I'm going to turn the feather right down, and I'm going to turn the fall off right down, and so that we can see it without my sort of control points, we'll just click this to turn it off. And we can see it kind of looks okay. Maybe we'll play with the fall off and feathering a bit here. I don't know. I'm not quite happy with some of that additional artifacting. So click here again. Let's just bring this in a little bit more to get rid of that garbage on the edge. Let's take a look at that. I mean, it's getting better. I'm still thinking that looks a bit garbagey at the bottom. Let's suck that in a bit. I mean, I'm going to go with good enough. Okay, so once you have this image, let's center it. Kind of like that. And what you want to do is click this bar like this so that it's all highlighted and then this bar is bright red. And then you go to File, Share, and Export or Save Current Frame. So we're going to call this Speaker Cutout. I guess you could tag it. Why not? And then this part's important if you want a transparent image. It'll be larger. Often this is defaulted to JPEG and it will not be transparent. And you'll have this big black rectangle. If you want it to be transparent, go with PNG image for your export. Click Next. Find a place you want to save this and put it into our project here. Give it a second to export. There's our speaker cutout. So if we open that, we'll see that we have a transparent cutout of our speaker. We could have done a better job, but for now, we're going to go with that. All right. Now what you're going to want is some music. And the best sort of music to make an audio visualizer out of is something that has good bass to it. We're going to be keying off of the amplitude to make the effect, and I find bass gives you the biggest kick, the biggest amplitude. So let's find some music, and if you have a YouTube account, you can go into your studio and down here to Audio Library, and you can use pretty much all of this music attribution free and you won't be hit with a copyright strike. So I use it a lot. And we're going to look for something with deep bass. And you can preview these. I found one that I liked called Loop Cot. So you can hear some good bass thumps in that. I think that's kind of nice. Lots of nice complicated bass in there. I think that one's good. You can like check here and see that the licenses, you can use this audio track in any of your videos, including videos you monetize, and no attribution is required. Perfect. Let's download that. If you have a Mac, the music app will automatically grab it, which is sort of annoying. If you download a bunch of them, they'll be playing in the background over top of each other. It gets hectic. You can pause that. You can close the music app. And then you can go to your downloads folder, and we'll see we have Loop Cot, that MP3. So let's minimize this, and let's just throw Loop Cot into my project folder. We're going to move it there because I don't need 2 copies of it. So now we have our music, we have our speaker cutout. Now the magic happens. Open Motion. I'm using Motion5 version 5.7. You can use whatever you want. I usually go with 29.97 FPS because that's usually what I film in these days. And we're going to do 4K Ultra HD. You can make this duration as long as you want. For today's video, we're just going to do a 10-second one, but if you're making like a longer video, say an entire music track that's 5 minutes long, just make sure you set the duration to the length of how long you want the audio visualizer to be. But today we will make that 10 seconds and just make a standard Motion project. Click Open. And then you're confronted with the Motion5 screen. So the first thing we're going to do is save this project, and let's save it to project folder here. And let's call it speaker bass bounds. And we're not going to collect media. Otherwise, you're going to start to make very large additional chunks on your hard drive, and that's not necessary. Okay, so now that we have it saved, let's import our speaker. So there's our speaker cutout. Let's import that. So we see it in the middle of our screen there. And next, import your music track. And this is important. Mix it to stereo. Just go ahead and do that. If you import all tracks, sometimes it gets tricky. Mix it to stereo, and then you'll see later. It's better to mix it to stereo so you have one audio stream instead of multiple audio streams, which can get confusing. So import that. And so now what we have, if we play this project, we have our speaker sitting there, and we've got 10 seconds with a bit of bass happening. All right, looking good so far. So what you want to do is you want to click on your speaker cutout, and you want to go to the inspector. And one of the easiest ways to make a really good visualizer is to play with the scale. So scale kind of makes things bigger or smaller. What we can do is we can click this little thing here and go down to add a parameter behavior. And in this case, we're going to add an audio parameter behavior. Once you add that audio parameter behavior, you'll get this screen. What I like, and there's lots of interesting things in here. We're going to be responding to the amplitude, and we want to focus on the bass. So we'll select bass, and that'll default our low frequency to 11 Hertz and our high frequency to 141 Hertz. We'll play with this in a minute, but for now, let's leave it at that. And then you want to click this down arrow here and make our audio source this loop cut. So when you do that, sometimes, especially if it's a long track, you'll see it processing a percentage. Don't do anything until it's done processing. Otherwise, you'll get glitches. So just wait, be patient until it's 100% processed. But since it's only 10 seconds, it happened really fast. So now, if we play this, pretty cool, huh? It's as simple as that. If you find that maybe you want less of the bass frequency in there, sometimes I set this to 55 Hertz. So it really focuses on the bass. Sometimes that dynamic is a little too much. So what you can do is you can adjust the scale, and often, whoops, not there, here. Often I adjust the scale to 0.5 or 0.25. And what this will do is it'll just make it a little bit less dynamic. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Let's share that. We're going to export movie. And yeah, speaker bass bounce. Sounds good. Why not do a tag? Okay, now this is important if you want it to have a transparent background. So we're going to export the video and the audio. For your codec, don't do H.264. H.264 is kind of like JPEG, and you won't have a transparent background. You'll have a very compressed video. It'll be small size, but it won't be transparent. You can choose some of these Apple ProReses, but I just go same as source. Use the canvas setting and make sure that your color channel is set to color plus alpha so that we get an alpha channel. Auto format at linear PCM is good. We're going to export the entire project, and it's going to be 4K, which is excellent. And you could play with render, but I go with highest quality. You can play with these. Frame blending is okay. I don't go with motion blur. I just go with the defaults here. And then click next. And again, every time we have to tell it where to put things. We'll put it into our project file. And this little thing here will rotate. It's Motion5, especially with large projects. You can be wondering how long is it going to take, and there's not really a good progress bar, but when that spinning wheel stops, you'll get QuickTime will grab it, and then you'll have your movie, which will include your audio and your bass bounce. Pretty cool. So let's close that. Let's minimize motion. And then let's go back to Final Cut. And we'll open a new project here. So maybe we want to have like our speaker bass bouncing over top of something. So recently I collected some time-lapse footage. Not in there. On my GoPro Hero Black, it was a blue sky cloud lapse. And I think this one will do. Let's drag that into there. Get rid of that little stub because I didn't get it right to the beginning. And this is a pretty cool little cloud lapse. Yeah, kind of fun. But let's take this down to, let's go to 10 seconds. Just kind of drag that there. Let's expand it a little. Oh, right. With Final Cut, you have to like go in and out of projects so that your zoom works. I don't know why. At any rate, here we have 10 seconds of pretty amazing blue sky cloud lapse. Now let's grab our bass bounced speaker, which was this one. Well, let's take a closer look at it. So if we inspect here and look at the video details, alpha channel, yes. And that's what you want. All right. So we'll grab that and then throw it over top of our video. And then we'll line it up. Give it a second to render, why not? And now what we have is this. Which is kind of cool, I guess. And you can see that it's actually a transparent background. So if you don't do the transparent background, you'll have like this big black box around it. But now we have just the speaker. Now that's cool enough, but what if we wanted to adjust things a little? Maybe we want the speaker down here in the corner. So you can move it like that. But you see the speaker is kind of bouncing out of frame. So what you can do with that is having it selected, you can take the scale down. Like maybe we're like, great, we've got this great 5K image, but maybe I only want it 50% the size. And we can take this and kind of move it down there and just take a look. So it's a cool little speaker and it's not bouncing out of frame. That looks great. Other things you can do, like maybe you're happy with that, but other things you can do here is maybe you could play with the opacity. So you could take it right away, or you can like put it there so you see a bit of the clouds in behind. Just kind of fun. Yeah. So there you go. Real simple, easy way to make a speaker bass bounce using Motion 5. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to like the video and subscribe if you have not done so already. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.